Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paris Reed. This is my video on a tutorial explaining how Vanguard would work. Now, since I don't have anyone else to join me in this video to help me explain it, I'm going to have to do this all in one go on my own. I don't have that many cards for an opponent deck to build to help explain the game, and I'm not going to just mix and match cards because that would still leave it very hard to explain it in detail on its own. So here we go. My opponent's deck, I tried to make a deck that was fully plausible, but the only things I could perfectly combine, at least, were Royal Paladins and Gold Paladins. So, yeah. Um, my deck is a Sanctuary of Light complete Royal Paladin deck. At the beginning of the game, you draw you draw 5 cards. Sorry about that. Too much Magic the Gathering, but you draw 5 cards, and your opponent draws 5 cards. If you didn't like the cards that you had, you could take 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those cards out of your hand, keep them, and mulligan in the same amount of cards back into your deck. I hope you got a chance to see that. These are the 2 cards that I want to keep, but these are the 3 cards I want to put back into the deck. However, my hand is just fine, so we're going to leave it at that. Now, the reason these cards are out here, these are the Forerunners. Forerunners are starting units. They always go out at the beginning. You always have only one in the deck. Only one copy in a deck. Now, your deck must always combined with this card, consist of 50 cards. That's how it is in Vanguard. Now, my opponent's deck couldn't be that large because I don't have that much of a collection of cards, but it will do for this explanation. Now then, it was in the show they would explain it, and to be in the best scenario, you always want to have a card of each grade 0, 1, 2, and 3 in your hand. When I shuffled this tiny deck right here, I ended up with these 3 cards, with 1, 2, and 3, which will be good enough for right now. My deck, my hand is partly the same. It has a 2 1s, a 0, a 2, and a 3. Now, how it would begin is like this. First, you take the card that you want to ride. It has to be a grade, only 1 grade above. You can't put one below onto the Vanguard circle. And the Vanguard circle is always right here. There are always only 6 units on the battlefield. Only 6 in a row of 2 going down and in a row of 2 going left to right. So I ride. Forerunners can move back into the back row if you so please, in anywhere in the back row, which could be right here, here, or here. I chose to move it here. Now, since in the beginning of turn of Vanguard you cannot attack, that pretty much is it. I don't know how much time I still have left on this video, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make parts for this video, so yeah. So, you can't attack on your first turn, so you have to pass it to your opponent. On your opponent's turn, he does the same thing. It's every turn at the beginning you have a choice to ride. If you do not have the means of riding, then you have no reason to ride your Vanguard. You have to keep it the grade that it was. That's the downside of if you don't draw the grade a grade higher on your turn. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. What the fuck? Fuck it. Okay, so now on the second turn, the player that goes second can attack. And how you attack, if you want to boost the power of your front row rear guard, the attack power, which is right here, is added to the front row. So 5,000, 5,000, 10,000 power coming to my Vanguard. I mean to my opponent's Vanguard. The You can choose to block the attack. If you do, you do it at like this. You take a unit from your hand with enough defensive power, which this one has 10,000, and block it. The power of the defensive shield that you put out is also added to the attack defensive power of the vanguard. So that's 16,000 the defensive power. If you're when the vanguard attacks, and only when the vanguard attacks, they get to drive check the top card of their deck, which goes in this process. Now this is a heal trigger. If he had damage, like let's just say if this damage was right here, after his vanguard taking a hit, if he drew this heal trigger, he could put it like this, take one of the damage from the damage zone, and put it in a discard pile. Now, since he didn't draw any damage triggers, didn't take any damage, then this does not activate. It goes to the damage zone. However, the 5,000 power can be added to your vanguard. And for his attack. So since he was hitting me with 10,000 and I blocked with 16,000, then his attack didn't go through because he only got 55,000 boost to his attack. So your defensive card goes to the discard pile, which is right here, right next to your deck. And if that was the only attack of your vanguard, of your opponent's vanguard, or if he had an effect that makes it so he can attack again, he would be able to attack again. But if he doesn't, then he passes his turn, and they stay in the rest position. You go onto the offensive. You draw one card at the beginning of your turn. Drew a grade 3. That fuck. Add it to my hand. That's my hand. Where is it? It's behind the 2. Here we go. Drew a grade 3 explosive axe. Add that to my hand. And then, as usual, like I said, no grade higher than 1 grade above. You ride your vanguard again. I ride Blaster Blade. Now, Blaster Blade has an effect. I explained the effects before to a friend, but I'll explain them